Coverage you can count on. This is a Storm Team 9 special. Severe weather and your safety.
Well, hello everyone, and thanks for joining us for our Storm Team 9 special. Now, over the course of the next half hour, we'll bring you information on how to get watches and warnings and where you need to go to be safe when severe weather strikes.
We'll break down the numbers from our severe weather season so far and look ahead to any threats on the horizon.
And we'll look at other issues like lightning, flooding, and even the upcoming hurricane season with need-to-know information.
Now, from a fast start to the season just after New Year's Day to some long-track tornadoes in early April, it's been an active severe weather season this year. Take a look. The calendar had just flipped to 2017 when the Chattahoochee Valley had its first brush with severe weather. An EF1 tornado touched down in Bullitt County on the afternoon of January 2nd. Wind damage was also reported south and east of Columbus, with more tornadoes in South Alabama and South Georgia. 4 people were killed in Dothan, Alabama, in a tornado there.
They were standing in the hall there outside the bathroom looking at me, and I'm like, get in the bathroom, get in the bathroom. And when they did, the tree come down, all of them.
Later that month, the 2-day outbreak brought 21 tornadoes to the Chattahoochee Valley on January 21st and 22nd. 5 tornadoes affected Upson County and 8 impacted Lee County, Alabama. But let's get in a little closer again. Let's get down to the street level here and show you what's going on with some of these smaller roads in here. So East Longleaf Drive, South Donahue Drive, East University, Wrights Mill Road. This is on the south side of Auburn. While the valley escaped without any major injuries or death, the situation to our south was much more dire. A long-track EF3 tornado was on the ground for more than 70 miles, crossing through Albany. It killed 5 and injured at least 40.
You literally have a trailer park that looks like it's been disintegrated.
These 2 days brought 41 tornadoes to the state of Georgia, breaking a record for the most tornadoes in a 48-hour period. The next 2 months brought relatively quiet weather to the Chattahoochee Valley as the main storm track shifted to our north and west, and things around here stayed warm and relatively dry. The quiet weather will be brought to a quick end in early April.
A lot of tree damage, and we actually have a tree down right here outside of Brewer Elementary. As you can see here behind me, it's completely uprooted. Thankfully, it did not fall on the school.
10 tornadoes impacted the Georgia side of the river, including one on the south side of Columbus and an EF1 storm that tracked on the south side of Ellaville.
As we were walking in the bedroom to get in the closet out, turned around and saw the tree fall, and we got in the closet and didn't come out.
We only had a 1-day break before another stronger system impacted the area on April 5th. We'd been warning for the risk of strong, long-track tornadoes in the days before. Randolph, Stewart, and Webster counties experienced just that, with an EF2 storm that was on the ground for more than 15 miles. So this is a tornadic debris signature that we're tracking for you as that moves continually to the northeast. So if you're in Troutman, this is treating this again like it's a tornado on the ground coming at you. North of Troutman along County Road 184, that is in the path of this storm. West and again.
I'm at the WTVM weather app, and it alerted us to take cover.
All told, 4 tornadoes affected the valley that day, including a late-night tornado in Chambers County. There's your circulation there. That would be west of Highway 431. And that would be approaching Cumbie Mill. It will be approaching the town of Findlay. It will approach McCosh Mill as well.
Whenever it came across the top, the freight train, the roar, the high winds, and it started opening up the top of that building like a can opener. You could literally hear that metal ripping.
The rest of April stayed pretty quiet until the 27th, the 6-year anniversary of one of the worst tornado outbreaks to ever affect the United States. 4 twisters hit the coverage area that day, including an EF2 storm that tracked through Talbot County.
Again, this does not include the city of Talbotton. This is to the southeast of you, Junction City. Anywhere north of Junction City, let's stay in that safe spot this afternoon. This is a new tornado warning, and again, very impressive on velocity as we're looking at this area of rotation.
May started off active as well with several tornado warnings, but no major reports of damage. Since severe weather knows no season around here, Storm Team 9 will continue watching the skies to keep you ahead of the storm. Now, Storm Team 9 was with you every step of the way this year. It's our policy that whenever a county in the coverage area goes under a tornado warning, we'll stay with you until that warning is over or until the threat expires.
That's our commitment to you and to keeping your family safe. Now, Elizabeth is here with a look at the numbers of our busy season so far. Elizabeth?
Thanks, guys. Well, the numbers are high. So far this year, the Chattahoochee Valley, the WTVM coverage area, has seen 38 tornadoes. Now, expanding that a bit farther, Alabama has seen 35, and as a whole, the state of Georgia has seen over 80. That's more than any other state in the U.S. by a long shot. Now, remember, tornadoes can happen any time of the year, but luckily, the average number of tornado occurrences in summertime is low.
Elizabeth, thanks. Now, while the weather pattern does flip a bit as we head into summer, many want to know if the pattern that brought us the tornadoes so far this year has been normal. I caught up with Patrick Marsh of the Storm Prediction Center to get his take.
You can go all the way back into the 1800s and beyond and earlier, and we have had severe thunderstorms that have occurred in wintertime. In the context of adding warmer than normal temperatures, that just goes into helping fuel these thunderstorms. Warmer temperatures can add to the instability. It allows for more moisture to be in the air, which also fuels thunderstorm development. So the fact that we have had a warmer than normal winter certainly has played into and facilitated a more favorable environment for these kinds of storms.
Now, Dr. Marsh also touched on the role of the Storm Prediction Center in getting folks ready for severe weather with different outlooks. In some cases, more than a week before it happens. It's the same mentality we have with our forecast, being the first to alert you when danger is on the horizon.
So when we're talking about the longer range and the longer lead times, we issue products known as severe weather outlooks. And these are national scale products that identify regions favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. We issue these multiple times a day, and they go all the way out to a week in advance. And as we get closer to an event occurring and the event begins to unfold the day of a severe weather event, we issue regional scale forecasts that are known as mesoscale discussions. And these are highly technical meteorological discussions designed to convey our meteorological assessment of the severe weather risk to other meteorologists.
Now, those outlooks are just a piece to the forecast puzzle during severe weather situations. Having a dedicated team of local meteorologists like us here at Storm Team 9 is crucial in having that forecast fine-tuned for where you live.
Do you know what makes a storm severe in the first place? We'll look at what threats a storm has to have before warnings are issued.
And if you went under a tornado warning, do you know where to go? What about if you're at school, at work, at church? We'll let you know the safest place to be in a storm when we come back.
Welcome back to this Storm Team 9 special, Severe Weather and Your Safety. When we have a chance of storms, one thing we always try to emphasize is the fact that a storm doesn't have to be severe to cause damage or to impact you in some way. But what does the word severe mean when it comes to storms? Storm Team 9 meteorologist Mallory Schnell explains.
A severe thunderstorm is not based on its rain or lightning, even though we know that those can be impactful. A severe thunderstorm must have winds 58 miles per hour or more, or hail 1 inch in diameter or larger. That's about the size of a quarter. Now, these are the hazards that trigger your weather radio or the WTVM Weather mobile app.
Now, once we approach a potential severe weather event, the Storm Prediction Center will put out a watch for a large area, often hours in advance of severe weather. It gives you the early alert that storms could be on the way. Now, a warning is different. It's issued for a small area, for a shorter amount of time, and it means severe weather is happening now, and you have to seek a place of safety.
And once that warning comes out, you might hear the outdoor warning sirens if your county has them. They're designed to warn people outside that severe weather is a threat. Don't always think you'll be able to hear them if you're asleep or if there is a storm raging outside. Use it as a trigger to turn on the TV, check the weather radio, or open the free WTVM weather app to see what the threat is and what your next step should be.
So the big question is, once you get the warning, what do you do? The place you choose to go could mean the difference between life and death in a tornado. Here's a closer look at what is safe and what is not. Once the tornado warning comes out, you might have up to 15 minutes to find a place of safety. Now, if you live in a house that has more than 2 floors, you're going to want to get downstairs. That's the safest place for you to be. The same goes for people that live in apartment complexes, dorm rooms. If you happen to be in a hotel or business, you've got to get downstairs. That's the first priority, being as low as you can be. The winds in a tornado are a lot stronger the higher up that you go. So once you're downstairs, there's a specific room that you have to be in. In this particular floor plan, we've highlighted the bathroom in green. That's the small room that we talk about. A bathroom, a closet, a hallway. Those are all pretty good places to be. This room also happens to be an interior room, which is away from windows, which is great because that glass can break and hurt us in tornadoes, as well as flying debris. That's always a factor in tornadoes. So when you're in your good, safe spot, make sure that you're protecting your head somehow. A helmet works great. If the kids have bike or baseball helmets, they can bring those with them to the safe place and wear them. If you've got pillows or blankets or something that you can put around your head, that will work as well. Now, we talked about some good places to be. There's some bad places to be too, like any sort of car, truck, or SUV, or a mobile home. In a tornado, the winds can get up under there very easily, causing them to be lifted up and then blown away. So if you live in a mobile home, for example, your tornado safety plan has to start before anybody else's, before the warning even comes out. You're also going to want to have a plan for nighttime in case the warning comes out late at night during the overnight hours, and the safest place to be is anywhere else. Another business nearby, another house, another church, another community center, just some other structure. There's no safe spot to go if you live in a mobile home.
And remember that tornadoes are not as common of a threat as lightning. Every thunderstorm contains lightning, and lightning can strike up to 15 miles away from the area where it is actually raining. If you hear thunder, seek shelter indoors and wait 30 minutes after you hear the last clap of thunder to head back outside. Stay off electrical equipment and away from windows. If you are stuck outside, avoid tall objects like trees or power poles. And if you're out on the water, get back to land as quickly as possible.
On average, flooding causes more deaths than any other weather hazard aside from heat. Flood hazards are divided into two categories: flash flooding and river flooding. Flash flooding is caused by excessive rainfall over a short period of time. River flooding is more gradual and takes place over days or weeks. In both instances, seek higher ground. Never try to drive through flooded roads, as the depth of the water is not always visible. Remember, turn around, don't drown.
Now, do you have a way to get watches and warnings in a timely fashion? We'll take an in-depth look at the WTVM weather app and give you the details that you need to stay safe.
And when you're in your safe place, what else do you need to take with you? Up next, some must-have items to survive the storm.
You hear us talk a lot about the WTVM weather app in times of severe weather. It can be a life-saving tool by providing critical alerts before the storm, or allow you to watch our coverage when you're in your safe place if the power is out. In order to get the most out of the app, there are some things that you need to know. Storm Team 9 Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid breaks it down for us.
Now, if you're going to use the WTVM weather app for severe weather purposes, there are a couple of different things that you want set up properly first to make sure that you get the alerts and the warnings that you need. Those three bars that you see in the upper left-hand part of the app, you tap on those, and that's going to pull up your ability to set your location. Now, what I like to use is this first one, use current location. That means wherever I am with my phone, whether it's at school, work, home, church, it doesn't matter. If there's a watch, if there's a warning for that area, my phone is going to let me know about it. Now, if you choose a specific city for an alert, then things get a bit more complicated. What you're going to have to do is tap on Manage Locations right here on the app. When you do that, there's a button in the upper right that says Edit. Once you tap on that, you're going to have the choice to add a location, or you can also edit a location that you already have set up. So I've had Columbus on here before, so let's tap on Columbus. What this does is you have to pinpoint where you are in the city to make sure that you get alerts. So this little purple dot that you see on the map, you've got to move that around to wherever you are, and that is the place that you'll receive alerts for, and only that place. So again, a little bit more complicated to do it this way. One thing again that I would recommend that everybody do is just go to Use Current Location instead, and that's going to be the way that you'll be assured to get those warnings where you are. Now, another great thing about the WTVM weather app, video updates. Again, one of the only apps in the area that can bring you these video updates where you don't have to necessarily wait until a newscast to get information about severe weather. You can tap on that video right there at the top. Now, another thing that you may want to check out in a severe weather situation, the radar view. You can get to it in a couple of different ways. You can scroll down on the app to find it, or you see those shortcut buttons down there at the bottom. Just tap on the one that says radar. Now, once you have the radar pulled up, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can zoom it in, zoom it out, fairly easy to do. You You can put the radar in motion by tapping the play button in the bottom middle of the screen. That'll show you where the storms have been and where they're moving. And also, if you look down to the bottom right, you see those 3 stacked boxes. If you tap on that, you can add different layers to the radar. Right now on my radar, I have the alert set up for tornadoes, for severe thunderstorms, for floods. I also have lightning data on there and the radar itself showing us where the rain is falling. So a lot of different things that you can add to that map to add value to what you want to know about, and again, to track those severe storms right at your fingertips. Now, back on the home screen of the app, one of the other things you'll probably want to stay informed about in severe weather situations, especially if your power goes out, is how to watch us on television. Remember, you can do that right here on the app if you scroll down here to the bottom where it says Watch Live Now. That is going to be a great resource for you. If your power goes out when you're in your safe spot, you can stream our coverage right here on your phone by tapping that. Again, Watch Live Now. And once that storm is over, if you have some damage in your community, in your home, or wherever it may be, we'd like to see some pictures of that. Or if you have pictures of the storm to share with us, you can see it, snap it, and send it. That's also a link right here on the WTVM weather app, right on that home screen. All you have to do is scroll down to that. So the most important things you can do with the app in severe weather situations, make sure your location is set up properly. Remember that the outdoor warning sirens in your weather radios, those are county-based, so they're going to give a warning for the entire county. Your app is going to be more specific than that, more pinpoint than that, and it's going to alert you to a very specific location that you set up.
In addition to having the app set correctly, you should also prepare a severe weather safety kit with the necessities you may need during an emergency. Some examples would be non-perishable food, water, a flashlight with extra batteries, first aid kit, and important family documents. Don't forget special items for small children or pets, and take the time to prepare your kit now before severe weather strikes.
It's a meeting of the minds. Still ahead, a roundtable with Storm Team 9. We share the #1 thing we want our viewers to know before severe weather strikes.
Welcome back into the show. We've assembled Storm Team 9, and it's time for some real talk. Some of the most important things we want you to know before severe weather strikes. Derek, what's your #1?
My #1 is staying up to date with us in severe weather situations. Now, a lot of times we might consume severe weather info less now than we did in years past, but if we say there's a threat of storms on Friday, don't think that you can watch that newscast on Monday and have everything that you need to know. You need to stay with us, stay informed with us as we get through that week. Again, things might change. The threat might change. The places that see severe weather might change, where that threat might diminish altogether.
And I'd have to say, as simple as it sounds, knowing where you are on a map, know your county. Many people might know where they live in terms of their town or their city, but watches, warnings, advisories, they're all issued based on your county or for parts of a county. So especially if you're new to an area, maybe you're in Fort Benning now, know where you are on a map, know your county, and know where you are relative to other areas in the Chattahoochee Valley.
And guys, I would say the other important thing is social media. It is so important to our job these days because that's how we get out information before storms hit. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're on it all. But while the storm is hitting and we're on TV with severe weather coverage, you need to have a way to watch us because we can't get all the questions on social media because we're busy doing other things. So you can watch us on TV or you can stream us live on that weather app.
You know, another thing too, the concept of the Alert Center Action Day. That's the day that we put on that extended forecast to give you that extra heads up before severe weather threatens. Something that we want to give you that first to alert you mentality, letting you know before those storms strike. The extra way we're helping to keep you informed.
And we really are the first to alert with our 9-day forecast. We're the only station with a 9-day forecast, and that way, if we see patterns in the long term, we can let you know 7 to 9 days in advance that we might have disruptive weather.
And like they said, it's not just disruptive tornadoes, severe weather. It could be anything that just makes you go off your regular schedule, baseball practice, commuting into work. If it's going to disrupt those things, we're going to tell you about it.
That's right. Now, look, before we head to the commercial break, we have something very exciting to show you. The new WTVM Mobile Alert Center, powered by Headquarters Nissan. Now, it's the only vehicle of its kind here in the Valley designed to keep you ahead of the storm with the latest technology. On the roof, we have weather tools to take readings as we chase storms across the area. Inside and outside cameras will keep you connected with us as we broadcast live during severe weather. We'll also use our technology to broadcast after the storms move out to show you the damage where you live and keep folks alert to any trouble spots when traveling. Now, look for much more in the coming weeks as we officially debut the new Mobile Alert Center powered by Headquarters Nissan.
We've told you about how things have been so far this season, but a big question is, what's next?
After the break, we'll preview the upcoming Atlantic hurricane season and what kind of threats are on the horizon.
Now, as we end the show, we want to take a look ahead for you as we head into these summer months.
Typically, the weather pattern changes a bit in late May, with the main threat for severe weather moving west and north of us.
However, our eyes turn to the Atlantic and the potential for tropical storms and hurricanes. The forecast from meteorologists at Colorado State University is calling for a slightly below average hurricane season, with 11 named storms, 4 of them being hurricanes and 2 of them being major hurricanes, category 3 or higher. That's a little below the average numbers of 12, 6, and 2. A developing El Nino in the Pacific may create harsher conditions to get tropical systems going in the Atlantic, but remember that it only takes one storm to cause problems. Landfalling systems can produce high winds, flooding, and spin-up tornadoes well inland.
One thing we'll keep our eye on for sure. So thanks for watching tonight. We hope that you found some information in tonight's show to help you with your severe weather plan at home, work, or school.
And it's not a matter if we will deal with severe storms or tornadoes again, it's when.
And we want you and your family to be prepared. Count on Storm Team 9 to be the first to alert you when dangerous weather threatens and be your safest place to be in a storm.
Thanks for watching, everyone.